Okay, good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining the City of Kingston Heritage Area Commission and Historic Landmark Preservation Commission for a joint monthly meeting of each respective commission. Today is Thursday, June 2nd, 2022. My name is Suzanne Cahill. I'm the Planning Director and the host of our virtual meeting. Kyla D-Day, the Assistant Planner, will be co-host this evening. Before we begin our meeting, we'd like to go over a few meeting guidelines to help navigate the system as efficiently and respectfully as possible. We're using Zoom webinar-based format, so all commissioners and applicants have received specific joining instruction as panelists. As panelists, you will be visible and able to speak once arriving at the meeting. Guests will have the option to use chat and can be unmuted or muted. All guests will be present as view-only attendees unless they are promoted to panelists, at which time they will be visible and able to be heard. As the host, I reserve the right to mute anyone who unmutes themselves. Commission members and city staff will control their own mute button. Good practice would be to mute yourself if you are not speaking to avoid background noise and feedback. If a commissioner or staff wishes to speak, they will raise their hand. As the host, either I or the chair will call on them before they speak by stating their name clearly for our audio listeners and transcript recording. All of our meetings are recorded. Both video and written transcriptions will be made available to the public on the city website at a later date. Also note this meeting is being live streamed on the city's YouTube channel. In lieu of public speaking, we requested all comments to be received by 2 p.m. on Tuesday, May 31st, 2022. Comments were to have been emailed to skhill@kingston-ny.gov, hand-delivered, placed in regular mail, or in the Dropbox at City Hall. No public comment has been received. A requested advisory opinion from SHPO for 106 to 122 Green Street has been circulated and posted. All meeting materials, applications, supporting documentation, comments may be found on the city website by going to www.kingston-ny.gov, and on the homepage, scroll to the bottom under meetings where you see the joint meeting posted. Click on an appropriate link for the meeting agenda and materials. If at any time you have an audio issue, please send a text message to the following number, 845-443-0416. I will repeat the number again, but be aware that phone calls will not be answered during the meeting. The number to text again is 845-443-0416. As the organizer for today's meeting, I do reserve the right to lock and pause the meeting, to eject anyone who has behaved inappropriately, or to enter into attorney-client conference if needed. On behalf of the commissions, I wish to thank everyone for your continued patience during this unique time and wish you and your family good health. I now call the meeting to order at 6:35 p.m. and I will turn the floor over to Chairman Hayes Clement for the HAC, who will be followed by HLPC Chair Mark Grumblatt to introduce their respective commissions and to consider adoption of the most previous meeting minutes. Hayes, you're up.
Thank you, Sue. My name is Hayes Clement. I'm the chairman of the Heritage Area Commission and a member of the Historic Landmarks Preservation Commission. We do have a quorum from the Heritage Area Commission tonight. I will call the roll now. I'm Hayes Clement. I am present. Bonnie Howland. Bonnie Howland.
You hear me? Here?
Dean Barnes.
Present.
Kevin McAvoy.
Present.
Nettie Morano.
Present.
Janet Marr.
Here.
And I will note the absence of Michael Del Priore, who could not be here tonight. First order of business for Heritage Area Commissioners is the approval of our minutes of our May 5th, 2022 meeting. Have all members of the Heritage Area Commission had a chance to review those?
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of May 5th, 2022?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Thank you, Dean. Do I hear a second?
Janet Moore, second.
Thank you, Janet. Duly made motion is on the floor. Is there any further debate? I will call the roll on accepting the minutes of May 2022. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Janet Marr.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland. Bonnie? Bonnie Howland.
Looks frozen.
We'll skip Bonnie. Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Okay, so even without Bonnie, the ayes have it. Mark, I'll turn it over to you now.
Thank you, Hayes. I'm Mark Grunblatt. I chair Historic Landmark Preservation Commission. I will ask each member of the commission to indicate their presence. I'll call the roll. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Hayes Clement,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Robert Tonner,
Aye.
Andrea Barnhoff-Pute.
Just Putes is fine. Present.
I'll stick with that then from now on. Thanks, Andrea. All right, have HLPC members had a chance to review the minutes from last month's meeting? Would someone, a member of HLPC, like to propose a motion that we accept the minutes as presented?
So moved, Robert.
And do I, second from you, Hayes, am I correct? Thank you. All right, any discussion? I will call the roll. Nettie,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Robert,
Aye.
Andrea.
Aye.
I will abstain. I had trouble downloading it today. So thank you. The ayes have it. Back to you, Hayes.
Next order of business, and it's a joint heritage area and HLPC matter. I believe, Mark, you are still recusing yourself in this matter of 106-122 Green Street.
Yes, I am. I retain an interest in an adjoining property.
Okay, so I will preside over an HLPC consideration of this matter. This, as you all know, is a proposal to replace windows and shutters at 106-122 Green Street, and the applicant is the Wiltwyck chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. They have communicated with the planning department that they are not going to be present tonight, but that they have engaged at our repeated request a condition and assessment expert to look at the shutters and report back to us. I think have you all had a chance to look at the opinion that's been rendered to us by the State Historic Preservation Office? Rob?
Hayes, are we talking about the shutters or the windows?
The
Both.
windows.
The windows specifically, but yeah.
Windows.
The application covers both. Have you had a chance to look at the SHPO advisory letter? Has everyone had a chance to look at that? I will note, and I will read one paragraph from the advisory opinion from SHPO. It's pretty high up in the letter. The application materials do not make a convincing argument for replacement of the historic wood windows. We support the HLP's request for a conditions assessment survey prepared by a qualified historic preservation consultant. An assessment should include detailed photos of all windows proposed for replacement, key to an existing condition site plan documenting the condition. Keep in mind, the assessment may recommend a mix of repair and replacement. I will also note further in the letter that SHPO has advised they do not consider window replacements an in-kind act of an in-kind project. As I understand it, we have a couple of options here. We can table this application one more time since it is not complete and let the applicant come back next month with a report from the conditions assessment surveyor or take action on the application itself. Do people on the HLPC have a point of view on this? Robert?
Yeah, since they have already purchased, from what I understand, they've already purchased the windows, the replacement windows. I think that we kind of owe it to them to give them this opportunity to, see what their expert has to say and then bring it back to us next month. But having said that, I think that the SHPO makes a very strong point about not replacing the windows.
Anyone else from HLPC? Anyone have a differing opinion on this?
Mm-mm.
An action to take, Kevin? Kevin, did you have a comment?
No, I was trying to cough. But no, I agree with Robert. So yeah, I'm totally in agreement with what he just said and with what SHPO put in the letter.
Sue, do we need a seeker declaration on this if we're going to table?
No, you do not. The one thing that I would suggest, though, is that this decision get followed up with a communication to them requesting the information be submitted at least 1 week prior to the next meeting. I'd also ask that they submit the name of the preservation expert that they are using to us.
Do I hear a motion from an HLPC member to table the application for window replacement at 106-122 Green Street with the notation that their application is still considered incomplete, and with a proviso that they submit their condition assessment report by a qualified expert 1 week ahead of our next meeting, and that they also immediately identify to the planning department the name of their condition and assessment expert?
Nettie
Andrea,
Morano,
moved.
so moved.
Eddie Morano, so moved. Do I hear a second?
Andrea, second.
Second by Andrea. That motion is on the floor. Is there any further debate? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Janet Marr,
Aye.
Ron Howland. Bonnie, you're muted.
Sorry, my computer's giving me problems. I apologize. Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Thank you. All right. I guess we need to review that with the HAC also, Sue.
Yeah, that's you were calling the role of HAC.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I got confused too.
All right, there's a duly made motion by HLPC members. So I'm going to call the roll. Again, any further debate on it? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Mark Grunblatt, I will note, is recusing. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Andrea Putes,
Aye.
Robert Tonner,
Aye.
and Nettie Morano.
Aye.
The HAC members in an advisory capacity endorse this tabling decision.
Bonnie Howland, so moved. I agree with the group from HLPC and their comments. So yes, I
And do I hear
Nettie Morano, second.
Morano second? Okay. Official. That motion's on the floor with the HAC. Is there any further debate? Hearing none, I'll call again for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Bonnie Howland,
aye.
Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Janet Marr,
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Okay, thank you all. That's tabled until next month. Mark, I will turn it back over to you.
Just one question. There is someone on the line as an attendee using a phone number. If you are an applicant and need to be promoted to panelist, would you please put something in the chat to identify yourself? Thank you.
Thank you, Hayes. And we'll continue on with the HLPC agenda. I believe the next item up is 18 Livingston Street. Is someone here to present on behalf of that proposal?
Hi, I'm Elliot Toman.
Hi, Elliot. If
Hello.
you'd give us an overview of what you're proposing.
Okay, I don't have a formal application, so I do want to be mindful of your time in that regard. Basically, the reason that I'm here tonight is to open a dialogue and get a better understanding of what options we might have moving forward with repairs to our home. I originally had planned to attend this meeting because several of the contractors that we spoke to in regard to the roof and gutters of our home suggested that the existing Yankee gutters or box gutters be replaced with external gutters because box gutters present so many problems. However, the contractor that I've spoken to most recently and the one who seems most likely to do this kind of work, if we are able to move forward with it, has suggested that we may as well just repair the Yankee gutters. And so that's no longer at the forefront of my mind. The main issues that we are trying to work through right now are how to fund repairs. We bought the house in 2010, and we at the time didn't know much, and we didn't really understand, the implications of moving into a historic property of this kind. And so, unfortunately, our income has not allowed us to make, all the repairs that we would like to make over the course of the time that we've been here. We're doing our best to address that and would like to work with the city to determine how best to prioritize and move forward with the repairs that need to be done.
Elliot, this is Sue. I know that we had a couple of phone conversations, and you had mentioned that you also have some roofing issues. And it was not only the gutters, but the roof of the home that you were looking at.
Yeah.
And that's, if that is a leaking roof, then I think that obviously would take a priority.
So what we don't actually have a leaking roof per se. We don't have persistent leaks throughout the house or anything like that. What we do have is a lot of deterioration around the gutters. And so we have one issue in particular. I have the photos show that on the south side of the house, there's quite a bit of deterioration in part of the gutter that is causing some significant damage. It's kind of covered up by trees. But so that is technically affecting the roof. The roof is over 10 years old. And so a lot of what I'm hearing from contractors is that anything that we do in regards to repairing the gutters is probably going to involve repairing or replacing the roof as well. But it's been very, very difficult to get anything in the way of a really comprehensive, detailed estimate so far. A lot of what I'm hearing is because of the historical nature of the house and the nature of the damage, the water damage that's been caused, it's really difficult for the contractors to tell what needs to be done until they really start poking around inside. We also have some significant damage to the veranda at the rear of the house, which is not visible from the road. But that's a high priority just because of the amount of water damage that exists there.
Okay, thank you, Elliot. A couple of things come to mind. First off, regarding being able to afford this sort of repair, I would urge you to consider the state historic preservation tax credits. If you are willing to do the repairs to the Yankee gutters that you're describing and maintain the architectural integrity of the property in that way, you may be able to get some tax credits of residential is up to 20%. Am I correct, Sue?
I'm not sure, but we can certainly check on that.
It's either 20 or 40% of your costs can be claimed as a historic preservation tax credit if it's done carefully. And it sounds like you're planning on doing it carefully. So that's something that may be of use to you. Also, in terms of our guidance, we are focused most certainly on what's visible from the street. That maintaining that streetscape is a big part of our charge. You're in a historic district. We'd like to see you maintain as much as you can of the historic fabric of this structure. It sounds like that's a goal as well. So those are the first two things that come to my mind. I'm not tradesman to give you a lot of guidance on how to repair a Yankee gutter, but I do know that there are folks in the area who are skilled at this, and it sounds like you found one. And I would urge you to try and get an estimate that at least makes sense and build in a contingency in case you do find extensive rot beneath. I know it's tough to tell until they actually start ripping a Yankee gutter apart. But those are the first two things that come to mind that may be helpful to you in maintaining the building. And we really are grateful that you've come to us ahead of time and are giving serious thought to exactly how this needs to be done. And I just see a note from Kevin McAvoy providing a link to the State Historic Tax Credit Program. It's a lot. There's some reporting requirements. Your contractor may be already familiar with some of this, and I'm hopeful that that will ease the burden, at least a considerable fraction, as you press ahead. Any other comments, credit? Andrea, I look to you for detail here if you've got anything you can add.
I concur with most of your commentary. Yankee gutters are definitely a tough bear to handle. My guess is they might wind up putting a rubber liner in for the gutter. So appearance-wise, it still looks the same, but it'll be much more waterproof. So if that's the case, great. And if they can do it, awesome. It's just a matter of whatever the substrate is beneath. And if it's deteriorated to the point where it can't be, salvaged for some reason, then, maybe us as a commission might be able to look at another type of gutter that, other than a K-style gutter, which is what you see on pretty much most homes, that might suffice for this. So, but yeah, charge ahead if you can on it. Yeah.
Okay. In terms of financing, one thing I have run across in my research so far is something called an FHA Title I loan. I don't know much about them. I'd be curious to know whether anyone on the commission has experience with this type of loan and has advice regarding lenders in the area that would provide that type of loan.
I am not.
Okay.
I don't have direct experience with this. It sounds like HFA, it's a home repair loan tied to a mortgage, I am presuming. Generally, it's a little below market when you're dealing with the FHA. It does mean that you'll have to submit with any building loan such as this, a pretty detailed estimate and a series of benchmarks so that the bank's inspectors can release funds as you work through the project. That's a pretty classic structure for any building loan. So you're going to need a fair amount of detail to go that route. I don't know any lenders locally. My best bet would be to start with Bank of Greene County. They have a fairly wide portfolio of federally supported loans and other styles of building loans, and are tied into the more rural kind of federal programs more closely than some of the more metropolitan-based banks.
There are,
Okay, thank you.
there are Rondout Savings, Ulster Savings do offer renovation loan programs that try to match the FHA programs also. So it may not be.
Good point.
There's they usually have something pretty equivalent.
Okay,
Rhinebeck Savings may have something similar, though I have not dealt with them in the past 8 years or so with something like that.
all right. Thank you. That's all very useful. I have already spoken to my bank about the prospect of a home equity loan. And so that's another avenue that I'm investigating. Right now, the estimates that I'm getting for making significant repairs to the house are somewhere in the realm of $60,000 to $100,000. So it's a significant amount, especially since I am not a wealthy person and I have a family of 6. And so I'm just trying to figure out, I very much want to be a friend to the community in which we live. I love this house and I love this area. And we had a porch repair done a couple years ago where unfortunately the contractor did not communicate well with the city. And it was very unfortunate. And I really want to avoid anything like that in the future. And so I appreciate that you took the time to talk to me today. And I just wanted to let you know that I'll be continuing to pursue this and stay in communication with the committees as I move forward.
Elliot, look in the chat because our member Kevin McAvoy has put in a couple of links that you
Yes.
should take note of for potential additional assistance and information.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that.
All right, Suzanne, the formality here would be to table, or
Yes, we'll just table.
do I hear a motion to table the application regarding 18 Livingston Street?
Hayes Clement, so moved.
Thank you, Hayes. Do I hear a second?
Robert, second.
Thank you, Robert. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. Thank you kindly. Elliot?
Thank you.
Do I hear a motion from a Heritage Area Commissioner to table this application for 18 Livingston Street?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Thank you, Dean. Do I hear a second?
Bonnie Howland, second.
Thank you, Bonnie. That motion's on the floor. Any further debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Marr,
Aye.
Howland,
Aye.
Aye.
and Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Thank you. Mark?
Thank you, Hayes. I believe next up is 321 Wall Street.
Hmm.
Do we have someone here on that application?
Yes, that's
Mr.
me.
Lebecki is here, yeah.
Evening. If Chris, if you could please give us an overview of your proposal.
Well, I opened up a storefront here in the historic Stockade District, and we would like to hang signage from underneath the Pike Plan canopy and put vinyl signage in our window. That's, as I can see, consistent with other storefronts in the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you. Has everyone on Historic Landmark Preservation Commission had a chance to review the application? Does anyone have any questions for the applicant? With this up, I really can't see if someone has a question, so speak up. Hearing none? Am I correct?
Yeah, no one.
All right. All right. I do recall you folks are moving from Broadway uptown. Am
That's
I correct?
Yes.
All right. And I think this is the same logo that you were using on Broadway.
The hanging sign is exactly the same, and I believe the window vinyl is almost exactly. It's nearly identical to what we had before.
Okay.
Chris, I just have one question. You are only hanging one sign beneath the canopy, correct? You're not hanging one that is perpendicular or parallel with the street.
That's correct. We're just hanging one that is perpendicular
Okay.
with the street, so it can be seen by
Right.
people walking.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from HLPC for the applicant? All right, then I will entertain a motion that we declare this to be a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act.
Hayes Clement, so moved.
Thank you, Hayes. Do I hear a second?
Robert Connor, second.
Thank you, Robert. Any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. And I hereby move that the commission find as fact that the proposed signage at 321 Wall Street in the Stockade Historic District by applicant Christopher Levecki, am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
Thank you. If done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedures stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the district for the following reasons. The signage will include a hanging sign measuring 24 inches by 60 inches with black vinyl on 3/4 inch exterior grade PVC and window signage displaying the name and logo of the business. Hanging signs will meet the minimum clearance required and will include insurance naming the City of Kingston as an additional insured. That any changes or additions to the plans or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application would be subject to further review by our commission prior to additional work being carried out. That the commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston's Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, I move that on the second day of June 2022, our commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein and in its application to the commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion. Do I hear a second?
Nettie Morano, second.
Thank you, Nettie. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. Thank you, Mr. Levecki.
Thank you very much.
Do any members of the Heritage Area Commissioners have questions for Mr. Levecki? Do I hear a motion from a Heritage Area Commissioner to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Thank you, Dean. Do I hear a second?
Janet Marr, second.
Thank you, Janet. That motion's on the floor. Is there any further debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
R,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
and Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Do I hear a motion from a Heritage Area Commissioner member to give a positive endorsement of the proposed identification signage at 321 Wall Street with the city of Kingston named as additionally insured.
Bonnie Howland, so moved.
Thank you, Bonnie. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Kevin McAvoy. Thank you. That motion's on the floor. Any further debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Janet Marr,
Aye.
Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much.
Right. I believe next on the agenda is 103 Albany Avenue. Do we have someone here presenting on that application?
We should.
Yes, hello. I'm here, James Clark. Apologies, I am currently in a taxi right now, tethering from my phone. So if you can't hear me or need to repeat anything, just let me know.
All right. Do you want to go ahead, or do you want us to come back to you once you're out of the cab?
It's all good. We are keen to press ahead with the work. So the proposal is simple. We would just like to, we're doing restoration work at 103 Albany Avenue. We'd like to paint the exterior of the house as part of that. And as such, we have selected colors from Benjamin Moore's historic color selection that are in keeping with the other historic properties on Albany Avenue that are more in keeping with my taste, essentially. So that's all. We've submitted the colors for your approval and hope that this is a relatively simple request.
All right. And I'd like you to walk us through a bit of what counts as a as base on the facade of the structure, what counts as trim, and how you're distributing the colors on the building.
Yeah, so the property, the main part of the property will be in the Hail Navy that you see on the screen. The Wickham Gray will be the existing white trim. It's just a slightly different color shade of white. It's an off-white. And the shutters will be in the lighter blue color that you saw there before you. So there's a similar house up the street that has pretty much exactly the same color scheme that I really like, and just wanted to sort of replicate that. But the main bulk of the property will be the Hail Navy color that you saw recently in front of you.
How do you intend to handle the cornice work and the detail beneath?
The cornice work in the color will be the white gray color that you saw, Wickham Gray, I believe it is. The blue is for the shutters. So it's really just a refresh. The house is currently being scraped and also power washed in preparation for the job. There is, it's essentially just repainting those existing white parts in exactly the same way.
I note a stripe of color on the bay window. Will that be the darker?
Yes, everything that's yellow that you see there will be the navy color that we submitted.
Hey.
Everything that's white will be the Wickham Gray, which is just an off-white color.
All right, thank you. Do any members of Historic Landmark Preservation Commission have questions for Mr. Clark? Hayes?
The deck color, including the stairs to the porch, that'll still be that light gray?
Yes, I haven't actually thought about that, but I believe it may be the white color. Yeah, I think we might go with the white color if that's possible over the gray. I'd rather not have to pick another color. Yeah,
all right, and since you have two grays, we're talking about the Wickham Gray on the...
The Wickham Gray is everything in the photo of the house you saw that's currently white will be that Wickham gray, which is very white in person anyway. It's a complementary color that was recommended by Benjamin Moore with the historic Hale Navy and also from the historic color collection.
All right. Any other questions or comments from HLPC members? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion that we declare this as a type 2 action under seeker.
Hayes Clement, so moved.
Thank you, Hayes. Do I hear a second?
Nettie Morano, second.
I think Nettie beat you, Andrea. Thank you. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. Okay, and I hereby move that our commission find as fact that the proposed exterior painting of an individually listed structure at 103 Albany Avenue by applicants James Clark and Alex Belekian, if done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedures stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the district for the following reasons. The body of the house will be painted Benjamin Moore HC 154 Hale Navy with Wickham Gray HC 171 for trim and Whipple Blue HC 152 for accents, including the shutters. Any changes or additions to the plans or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application would be subject to further review by our commission prior to the work being carried out. That this commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston's Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, I move that on the second day of June 2022, our commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein and in their application to the commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion. Do I hear a second?
Hayes Clement, second.
Thank you, Hayes. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. Thank you, Mr. Clark.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Safe travels.
Thank you. Commission have questions of the applicant? Do I hear a motion from a Heritage Area Commissioner to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Bonnie Howland, second.
Do I hear the motions on the floor? Any further debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Janet Marr,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Do I hear a motion from a Heritage Area Commissioner to give a positive endorsement to the preservation notice of action approved by the HLPC for the repainting scheme at 103 Albany Avenue?
Bonnie Howland, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Nettie Morano, second.
Thank you. That motion's on the floor. Any further debate or discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Janet Marr,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hayes. And I believe the next item on our agenda is 39 North Front Street. Do we have Hayes?
Just to note, I'm going to recuse myself on this. I have a client relationship with the applicant and involving this building.
All right. Thank you for putting that on the record, Hayes. All right, 39 North Front Street. Do we have someone ready to give a presentation on this application?
Yes, I'm here for 39.
Hi, Ms. Khan?
Yes,
Great. Give us an overview of your plan.
sure. Well, it's quite simple. We just want to repaint the second floor facade. So, right, we're not Vapology anymore downstairs. We are a law firm, Miller and Kahn, and upstairs is residential. So downstairs it's been the dark gray, and we just want to paint the upstairs in conformity with the downstairs. The upstairs has been a light blue with rose color detail, and we just wanted to conform it to match the downstairs. We have the colors Metropolitan and Trout Gray. Metropolitan is Benjamin Moore, so is the Trout Gray. We were planning on, that's the picture as it is now. So we wanted to paint the brick, the dark color Trout Gray, and the trim would be in the Metropolitan, the pale gray. And that's our application.
All right. Gray on Gray is appearing to be popular this month. Does any member of Historic Landmark Preservation Commission have any questions for the applicant? Andrea?
Just to clarify, for the trim, are you talking about the entire cornice or just where the sort of pinky color is going to be in the lighter gray tone?
The pinky, yeah, the pinky tone. Yeah, enough of pink.
All right. Thank you. Any additional questions? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker.
So moved, Robert Tonner.
Thank you, Robert. Do I hear a second?
Andrea, second.
Thank you, Andrea. Any discussion on the motion on the floor? Seeing none, I will call for the roll, noting that Hayes has recused himself. Nettie?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
And I also vote in the affirmative. I move that the commission present find as fact that the proposed exterior painting of 39 North Front Street by applicant RSM Stockade Acquis, maybe 39 LLC, if done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedures stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the district for the following reasons. The background color will be Benjamin Moore 2124-20 Trout Gray with AF-690 Metropolitan Gray for details and trim. That any changes or additions to the plans or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application will be subject to further review by our commission prior to the work being carried out. The commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston's Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, I move that on this second day of June 2022, our commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein, and in its application to the commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion. Do I hear a second?
Nettie Morano, second.
Thank you, Nettie. Any further discussion by HLPC? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Kevin? Oop, you're muted, Kevin.
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Robert? Robert appears frozen. I will move on to Andrea.
Aye.
Robert, can you hear me?
Yes, sorry. Aye.
Thank you, Robert. I also vote in the affirmative. Thank you very much. Over to you. Hayes is recused, I'm
That's me.
sure, on this as well. So Bonnie, you'll take over?
Yep.
Okay, I'll hand that over.
So does anyone on the Heritage Area Commission have any questions for Robin on the color choice? It doesn't look that way. All right, cool. So do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Nettie Morano, so move.
Awesome. Do I hear a second?
A second, Kevin.
Second by Kevin. And there's a motion on the floor. Any other questions, comments, concerns? No, hearing none, I'll call for the roll. I'm Bonnie Howland. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Janet Marr,
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
And I'm going to note that Hayes has recused himself from this. And then do I hear a motion to approve the color scheme as presented, not prevented, as presented and approved previously by the HLPC as submitted?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Janet Marr, second.
Janet Marr, second. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, I'll call for the roll. I'm Bonnie Howland. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Janet Marr,
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Back to you.
Thank you kindly, Bonnie. Next on the agenda is 334 Wall Street. Do we have anyone here to present on that application? Someone just lit up but is still
Yes.
silent. I think you're
You're
muted.
muted. There you go.
Hi, my name is Linda, and I'm presenting for 334 Wall Street.
Hi, could you give us an overview of your proposal?
Yes, we are renting the lower space at 334 Wall Street for a retail establishment. We're interested in installing signage out in front of the street. Would be on the facade towards Wall Street and under the overhang on the walkway.
How many signs in total?
It is one on the front on the facade and two for one is on the corner towards North Front and one is underneath in front of the store.
Will there be a third facing onto Wall Street, parallel with that street, as is presently there?
So where you can see the sign that's there, the yellow dot, there'll be one up, but on not hanging. It will be fastened to the facade.
Oh, back and under the Pike plan?
Not under it, on the front of it, which is how some of the signs are just installed onto the front of the facade, as I understand.
When you say, it's a little confusing to me. When you say facade, I think the brick.
Okay, right. I'm not using the correct term. So the porch, what do you call that?
I think what she is saying, Mark, is that she is looking at attaching it directly to the outer fascia element of the Pike canopy itself.
That's correct.
You're not going to hang it from that.
Correct.
You want to attach it directly to that. Okay. I'm going to just have to double check on whether or not that is allowed. I will double check that.
Okay, that we were going by the ones across the street on the recommendation of our sign company because of the size of our sign.
For the clearance.
That we would have the proper, we didn't want it to be too low.
Mm-hmm.
Is
that what you were thinking? Like Dominic's here?
Or is it OPA? It looks like OPA might be if you shift over, Kyla.
Oh, okay.
Right there.
Yes, like
Yeah.
OPA. That is correct.
No.
All right, so Sue, given these.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there is. I'm just gonna we'll just double check that. It would still require the same insurance, naming, the city had named additionally insured on the signage.
Mhm.
Right, and that's an approval from the building department?
For hanging the sign? I'll just check the
Yeah.
regulation. Yeah. No,
Okay.
we can do that in
So-
our office.
We will have to proceed as though we're presuming it's permitted. You're gonna have to get an additional approval to actually hang it. And there
Okay.
are other city regulations for the signs on the Pike plan.
Okay.
All right, any other questions by an HLPC member for our applicant? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to declare this a type 2 action under this State Environmental Quality Review Act.
Hayes Clement, so moved.
Thank you, Hayes. Do I hear a second?
Nettie Morano, second.
Thank you, Nettie. Any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
And Hayes.
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. And I move that the commission find as fact that the proposed signage at 334 Wall Street in the Stockade Historic District by applicant Fast Signs of Kingston, if done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedures stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the district for the following reasons. The signage will include 2 signs hung from the Pike Plan canopy identifying Live Out Loud Shop Ltd. 1 single-sided black and white sign parallel to the street measuring 72 inches by 36 inches. The other double-sided black and white perpendicular to the street measuring 72 inches by 14 inches. Hanging signs will meet the minimum clearance required, and an applicant is required to provide insurance, naming the City of Kingston as an additional insured. Any changes or additions to the plans or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application will be subject to further review by our commission prior to any additional work being carried out. That our commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston's Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from the relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, I move that on this second day of June 2022, the commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein and in its application to our commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion. Do I hear a second?
Hayes Clement, second.
Thank you, Hayes. Any further discussion by HLPC? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
And I also vote in the affirmative. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Do any members of the HAC have questions for the applicant? Hearing none. Do I hear a motion by an HAC member to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Thank you, Dean. Do I hear a second?
Nettie Morano, second.
Thank you, Nettie. That motion's on the floor. Any debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Janet Marr,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
and Dean Barnes.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Do I hear a motion from an HAC member to positively endorse the preservation notice of action approved by the HLPC for the sign installation proposal at 334 Wall Street as presented?
Bonnie Howland, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. That motion's on the floor. Any debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Mar,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, everyone, for your time.
Next on our agenda, I believe, is 295 Wall Street. Is anyone here to present on that? I timely
Hi,
said
everyone.
that. Tyson, is that you?
It's me. Hey, Mark, how are you? Sorry, I got low light here.
That's fine. I guessed from the voice. Can you give us an explanation of your plan?
Yes, absolutely. We're proposing one set of half-inch thick routed letters, just like the proof shows here. It's gonna be painted in metallic gold, and we'll be using blind mount studs to raise it off of the fascia there by approximately 1 inch.
All right. Does any member of HLPC have any questions regarding the application for Tyson? Gesundheit, someone. All right. Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker.
So moved, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. Do I hear a second?
Second, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. Any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. All right. I move that the commission find as fact that the proposed signage at 295 Wall Street in the Stockade Historic District by applicant Timely Signs of Kingston, if done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedures stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the district for the following reasons. The signage will include lettering displaying the name Evolve above the entryway in gold foil metallic, measuring 77.8 inches by 16 inches by ½ inch, painted and blind stud mounted. Any changes or additions to the plans or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application will be subject to further review by our commission prior to the work being carried out. The commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston's Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, I move that on this second day of June 2022, our commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein and in its application to the commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion. Do I hear a second?
Second, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. Over to you, Hayes.
Do any members of the Heritage Area Commission have questions for the applicant? Do I hear a motion from a Heritage Area Commission member to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Bonnie Howland, second.
That motion is duly made and on the floor for debate. Is there any debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Janet Marr,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
and Dean Barnes.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Do I hear a motion from a Heritage Area Commissioner to give a positive endorsement to the Preservation Notice of Action approved by the HLPC for the signage installation at 295 Wall Street as proposed?
Nettie Morano, so move.
Do I hear a second?
Bonnie Howland,
Janet.
second.
Bonnie Howland, second. Thank you, Bonnie. That motion is on the floor. Any further debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Janet Marr,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
and Dean Barnes.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hayes and Mark, Tyson is also here for signage at 572 Broadway. It's an HAC item only, being on the Broadway corridor. Would you mind if we jump to that and then Tyson can be excused for the evening?
Which
No
address?
objection.
It's number 15, 572 Broadway, and it's heritage only.
That's fine.
Thank you.
All right. This is a proposal to install 3 new business identification signs at 572 Broadway, timely signs of Kingston applicant, new lights of Broadway owner. Tyson, do you want to present what you want to do?
Yes, absolutely. So People USA is moving into this location. The signage is actually mimicking exactly what was there prior for the law firm that was there. I believe it was Finkelstein and Partners. The graphics, the production is exactly the same for all 3 signs. It's actually just smaller than what was there before. The facade is going to stay the same color, and the letters are being painted the same color as what was there before, just different logos. So they're dimensional letters on the sides there and the front, and then that one in the back of the building is a flat panel with a raised border and raised letters as well.
Anyone on the Heritage Area Commission have questions of Tyson about this? Sue, this meets all code requirements?
Yes, it does.
Do I hear a motion from the Heritage Area Commissioner to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. That motion's on the floor. Any debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Janet Marr,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
and Dean Barnes.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Do I hear a motion to approve the proposed sign installation of 3 new business signs at 572 Broadway as presented?
Bonnie Howland, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Nettie Morano, second.
Nettie Morano, second. Correct, Nettie?
Yes.
That motion is on the floor. Any further debate or discussion on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Janet Marr,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
and Dean Barnes.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Tyson.
Thank you, everyone. Sue, thank you so much. Have a great evening, everyone.
Welcome. Okay, so now we're going back to item number 9, 75 Rabine Street.
All right, this is an advisory opinion, if I'm correct. All right, do we have an applicant to describe plans here?
Yes.
Yes, I'm here.
There she is. Okay.
I'm sorry, I just got a new computer today and apparently the video camera is not working. I'm just discovering this right now. So I apologize for the black hole. But my name is Malia Dumont. I'm the owner and resident. It's my house we're talking about. And I just, this is the first time I've attended a meeting like this. I just want to thank Sue and everyone that's my house, for their help in walking me through this process. So you'll see from that picture there that some of the wood has been removed from the underside of the roof over the front porch. That's because there's a Yankee gutter in there. And I realized recently that the gutter had rusted through and that wood right there was rotted. So I had someone come and just do some exploration and see how much of the wood was rotted. And this is looking up, straight up through some of where that wood is rotted. The first person I had come, I realize now, I think was trying to scam me. And he said that the entire roof was rotted and needed to be completely replaced at a cost of $8,000. And so because I see this as rotted, I immediately put in a permit. I wanted to get the work started as quickly as possible. But I had my suspicions, so I finally was able to get a second person to come take a look at it just a couple of days ago. And he actually walked out on the top of the roof and said it is not rotted all the way through, and you do not need to replace the whole thing. What you need to do is replace the rotted wood around the Yankee gutter. And probably it's best, like most of my neighbors have done, to turn that Yankee gutter into, like, put an exterior gutter along the front of the house, along the front of that porch. I talked to I think it's the planning department of the city today, and they're considering whether or not a permit is still needed for the lesser scope of work that this represents from the original conception, but they haven't come to a decision on that. So I'm appearing here tonight with the idea that hopefully the city is going to tell me I don't need a permit, but I might still need your approval to fix the, basically get rid of the rotted wood, replace it in kind, and then put an external gutter along the front, so I don't have to worry about a Yankee gutter rusting through and rotting the roof of the porch anymore. As you can see, the underside of the porch roof that's painted purple, it's not damaged, and the beams holding up the roof are fine as well, and it is a metal roof that needs to be repainted, but only the Yankee gutter portion of that is damaged. So what I'm coming to you with is a lesser application, or a smaller in scope application than I originally expected. But that's the explanation of what I would like to do.
Right. Does any member of Historic Landmark Preservation Commission have questions for Ms. Dumont? And just warning you, I can't see everybody, so do speak up. Now we're back. Because we're in.
I just figured out how to my new computer really is working. Sorry about
that. Congratulations on finding the magic button to press. And does anyone have any questions of our newly visible applicant? All right, now Sue,
sorry, Mark. Yes, sorry, Mark. I do have a question.
Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that. But are you totally against? I know Yankee gutters are a pain in the butt, but are you set against not repairing it? And because I mean, there are people that can do it. I had a friend that just had their gutters repaired, and they did a beautiful job, and they're working very well now. But you may not want to have to worry about it down the line. I understand that.
Yeah, I'm in the I'd rather not have to worry about it camp if I don't have to. And the gutters on the rest of the house are painted a beautiful silver color, and I think it'll look pretty nice. So for me, it's not it wouldn't be a bad aesthetic difference, but I understand, from the commission's perspective, perhaps a Yankee gutter is preferable. I'm willing to look into it. I haven't I don't have any quotes of how much, I haven't talked to anyone who knows how to repair a Yankee gutter. So I just haven't explored that.
I'd be happy to get that name for you, but that's a personal opinion on my part. So I'm not talking for the commission there. I'm just, just
I see, yeah.
We just had another gentleman on earlier tonight that said that they had a contractor also that is looking at their property, doing Yankee gutters there, restoration there. So we can reach out to get you maybe a couple of names and see where it goes. If you can repair them in kind, I think the appearance is much cleaner looking.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Thank you. And Andrea, do you have any pointers on it seems as though this Yankee gutter is further gone than the earlier applicant.
It's rusted through. Like I can look up from my porch and see sky through this gutter.
Yeah, that's kind of what I guessed from the photos. And I'm not as familiar with the possibilities. We spoke earlier about rubber linings and other ways that this can be made more durable. Any pointers you can share, Andrea?
So without knowing the full construction of how it is, it's hard to make a good general assessment on it. But I can say that just based on what I'm seeing in some of the pictures here, the tough part about replacing the Yankee gutter with just an external standard K style gutter is that the trim that's on the front is probably going to wind up having to come off. That's on the soffit to be able to actually hang the gutter off of it, just based on what I'm seeing there. So it is going to change the appearance of it a little bit. But to try and do a rubber membrane on the metal roof, it might be tough. I don't know. It's again, it's hard to tell from some of the details that are there. But if you do have the option, if you can find somebody that can work with trying to restore it, I mean, I'm all for that because I like the look of how it is currently. But if it's just too far gone, it may cause an actual soffit change to the detail itself to get the gutter, an external gutter put on.
Sue, since this is an advisory opinion, the formalities here are reduced. Do we need to do a formal motion and a type 2 action?
You do not need to do the type 2. You would just, basically make a recommendation. So you could, say that you understand that the intent is to remove the Yankee gutter and replace it with an external new gutter system to match the rest of the, gutters on the property, but you'd also like them to possibly look at alternatives to repair in kind the Yankee system.
Right. And if I understand correctly, should Ms. Dumont decide to repair in kind, then she need not return to the commission. However, I would warn you that given what we've just heard from the architect on our board, if you are going to try to hang something on the front, it appears that it will be enough of a change that you will need to come back with detailed plans.
I think that's what she's asking. Her application was to put actually remove the Yankee gutter system and use a new external system. That is her application. All right. So that's what she is asking for. But in an advisory role, you can say, yes, but we would like you to explore the option of the restoration first before you go that route.
Yeah, I heard the previous application that was talking about, and I didn't know until hearing that tonight that there are people who repair Yankee gutters, because everyone I've talked to and pretty much all my neighbors, they replaced theirs years ago with external gutters. So I didn't realize that there are people who are trying to, repair them and keep them. So the various contractors I've talked to have all have all just gone straight to, how are we gonna hang this external gutter? And I just thought that's what people do now. So as I said, I'm happy to talk to someone about what that Yankee gutter repair might look like. But at the same time, if that's not economically feasible, or if I don't know, if it can't happen in a timely manner. I mean, I've got a rotted porch roof over my front door right now, and I'd like to be able to repair it in a timely manner.
It's understood. I believe Mr. Toman just posted a name in the chat, if that's useful to you.
He did, Doug Nostrand. And then he is also interested in the name that you have, Robert. So Robert, if you send that to me, I'll make sure that both of these applicants get that.
Okay, I think Hayes.
I would like to make a motion that we give a positive or endorse the gutter replacement proposed at 75 Ravine Street, including replacement of a Yankee gutter with an externally hanging gutter at the applicant's discretion, following consultation on the topic of restoration of the existing Yankee gutter.
Would you accept an amendment indicating our preference for maintaining the Yankee gutter if possible?
Well, I think that's covered in, what I said about following consultation with an expert on potential restoration of the Yankee gutter.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Andrea Pugh, second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, one question. Ultimately, where is the stormwater going?
It's going into the existing gutter. So I've got right now the Yankee gutter that's across the front of that roof, which is over the front porch. But then I've got a regular external gutter one floor above that. So it would just be going into the existing gutter that empties from the second floor roof.
Okay.
I think what Kevin was asking is if it goes into a city system, it would have to be removed out of the city system. So it would have to go to a ground area, grass area, landscape area, something like that.
From what I can tell from sorry, this is Andrea Pugh speaking. From what I can tell from Google Street View, it looks like the leader, the vertical leader that comes down from the gutter, it might go out to an outlet next to the sidewalk here, just based on what I'm seeing.
I'm sorry, I'm not following the discussion. I don't quite understand the question that
It's
came early.
what was being asked was where, when the water is collected in the gutter, where does the gutter water ultimately end up? Does it go into the city's sewer system, or does it go out to the ground?
I should know the answer to this, but I'm afraid that I'm not sure. I've owned the house for about 4 years now. And I would have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
I don't think it goes into the sewer. But I just don't know.
Okay, we can confirm that with you, tomorrow or whenever.
All right, there is a motion on the floor, made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Robert?
He says aye. You're muted, Robert.
We'll come back to you. Andrea?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. Thank you, Ms. Dumont. Good luck tracking the flow, and we're hoping that you have a good consultation with someone who can fix a Yankee gutter.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Okay,
Do the same.
Heritage has to do theirs. Hold on. Hayes?
Do any members of the Heritage Area Commission have questions for the applicant? Do I hear a motion to endorse her plan to replace the gutter system at 75 Ravine Street, including replacement of a Yankee gutter over the porch with an external gutter at the applicant's discretion, following consultation with a Yankee gutter restoration specialist?
Nettie Morano, so move.
Do I hear a second?
Connie Hallen, second.
Any debate on that duly made motion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Mar,
Aye.
Connie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I believe next on our agenda is 105 Fair Street.
Hello.
Hi, Lee is waving her hand.
Yes, can you all hear me? Let's see, make sure I'm, let me pull up this, just a minute.
Lee, I have your presentation.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
if you want, I don't know if you want to share your screen. Sue can make that possible. I know you've done a lot
That
of
would be
work
great.
and-
Sure, that'd be great. I was trying to do it. I'm not very familiar with Zoom. Let's see if this works. It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Yeah,
So if
she's
you'll
gonna
allow
give
me,
you
I will
permission.
pull mine
Yeah,
up.
let me just
Excellent,
accept to
thank you.
find you there. Here you go.
Okay, let me try now.
Okay, you should be good now.
Here we go. This one. Share. Can you all see? So this is 105 Fair. The original wing over here was purportedly built between 1830 and 1850. But in 1908, prominent local architect, Frederick Helen Rusa, here's Frederick, designed additions and alterations. He grew up down the street at 159 Fair. His father was a sign painter. And we've had incredible success researching him. We've traced him back to 33 different projects, notably many, many skyscrapers in the city, hotels, theaters, an incredible assortment. Friends of Historic Kingston also has a small but lovely collection on Rusa, photographs and other materials. And I have been lucky enough to visit to look at this collection and realize that they actually have many, many construction folios relating to our house, everything from carpentry and roofing to plumbing. So we have the exact specifications relating to our house as to how our porch was built and so on. And even more importantly, when we bought our house in 2016, the owners gifted us with a set of beautiful original drawings. And we've confirmed that this set is complete. We have 2 elevation drawings and 5 plans. And because of this, we have a very ambitious plan to attempt to restore 105 Fair to an approximate 1908 state. And I'm not sure if you can tell, but in this drawing, you can see that there's light shading on the brick. We believe, and actually we've confirmed this from the construction notes, that the 1908 house had no paint. And I'm skipping ahead of myself here. Here's another undated photograph you can see that also shows that the house at one point did not feature paint. We now have white paint. We now have vinyl railings. This wing over here is the Russo wing, and he also added this magnificent veranda with the bluestone. So we have several phases planned. The first phase, which we're prepared to work on immediately with your approval, we would like to use peel away to let the house breathe again, to strip all the paint away from all historic brick and bluestone. We think that would look gorgeous. Secondly, it's hard to tell from this particular photograph, but let's see if I can get a different view. You can see that we have a gable, and on the other side of our house, we have a dormer. The asphalt shingle roof is 12 years old and it leaks. We would like to replace it with something more historically compatible. We don't have a definitive plan yet, nor color selections, but we would like to do possibly a zinc alloy metal standing roof with the 2-inch mechanical seam, likely likely in something like a dark charcoal gray or a natural metallic color. And it's interesting because if you look at Rusa's house, his father's house right down the street, what we have in mind is something very similar to what you see here. So that's plan 2. Skipping ahead to the windows, we've consulted with Newberg Sash, who is going to make himself available in September. And most of these front windows here, actually all of the windows on the second floor and first floor are original. The basement windows are not, but in essence, we want to restore all of the original windows that are in good condition and replace any vinyl windows and any windows that were introduced later in the 20th century, or in some cases, the 21st century. So we're really excited about that. And we will be submitting additional plans at a later date, but just wanted to let you know we have a much broader plan for our house. And last but not least, based on Rusa's drawings, we would like to reintroduce the wider Doric columns and these beautiful balustrades, which we know did come to fruition, again, in this undated photograph. If you look down here too, there's this beautiful little archway, which no longer exists. We'd like to reintroduce that. And we have an architect who's working on plans at this moment. You can see here the entablature is original. It's in great condition. We'll simply be maintaining that. So that's about it. We're really excited. So tonight we're hoping again for approval for the peel away and hopefully the roof. The porch will happen likely later in the summer or the fall, and the windows again will happen in the fall, probably throughout the winter. So that's Rusa. And let's see if I can stop screen sharing unless anyone has questions. Let's see. Stop share.
Yeah.
Hopefully I didn't speak too quickly.
No, thank you. That was, and it's relatively rare and wonderful that you have such detailed plans to work from. I
Yes,
think
it's
that's
amazing.
a great piece of research there. So just to clarify, what you're seeking tonight is approval on the peel away of the paint.
Correct.
I'm a little less clear on what you're asking for the roof.
The roof, it would be the gable and the dormer. We're leaving the flat roofs alone for now. And that would be, I can read from my little blip here. We have an estimate for a 24 gauge double lock zinc alloy standing seam with a 2-inch mechanical seam and 20-inch panels. We also plan to maintain the built-in gutters, which from the New York State Historical Society seems to be the best avenue. Yes, and we haven't chosen a color yet, and we're not exactly sure on the exact material, but that's where we're headed. So we will likely return next month with more details. But again, the color palette, we will likely choose a dark charcoal gray or a natural metallic color, weathered zinc, something like that.
Okay. All right. So we'll set that aside for next month and focus in, I believe, most directly on the peel away. Does anyone have any specific questions regarding this treatment?
Yeah, I had a question about the lentils. 2 of them look like they were painted out white.
Yes. So we will be removing all of the paint from the 1830, 1815 wing and the 1908 wing, both in the front and in the back. So all of the elevations. We have an additional wing that was built in the 1960s. We will not be touching that. We know that the brick will not look the same, and we have alternate plans for that wing, which is not visible from the street in any capacity. But we admittedly have done a couple of small tests because we realized that the earlier brick might not completely match the 1908 brick, and they look remarkably similar. And the peel away has worked especially well on the bluestone, came off in one fell swoop. So we're very excited, and it looks gorgeous. So we're hoping that you agree that it will look gorgeous too.
And
Hayes?
you're proposing to take, I'm sorry, this is Kyla. You're proposing to take the shutters off, correct?
Yes, they were not part of Rusa's drawings, and they were not mentioned in the construction notes. I should have mentioned that. But we think they're modern shutters for sure.
Would you like
They're
us to address that this evening?
Replacing the
shutters.
windows and renovating the windows and the shutters?
No, I'm just talking about the shutters. I think the windows you're going to need to come back with a bit more detail.
Yes. So we were restoring the windows in their entirety, inside and out. And Ben is extremely talented. So we no doubt they'll be beautiful. And they'll last much longer than modern windows. So, and not cost as much. Why wouldn't we want to restore them?
That sounds like a win-win all around. And but are you asking for us to approve removal of the shutters this evening?
If you'd be
Or
willing
shall
to
we
vote on
wait
that.
until? Is it something that you're planning on doing immediately? I guess is
No. Our first phase is the peel away. Second phase will be roofing. Third phase will be the windows, possibly the porch. It depends on which contractor we can find and when they're available. We're in discussions with a few, and we're consulting with general contractors who are experienced with historic buildings.
Great.
I would.
Thank you kindly. Hayes, you had a question?
Yeah, well, less a question than just a sincere thank you for the thoughtfulness of all of this. Second, I do think you ought to ask for the removal of the shutters now, because I think that's logical in conjunction with the paint removal.
All right. Be happy to, because that's definitely our plan in keeping with Bruce's vision. So we also think that, again, we haven't decided on a color for the frames for the double sashes, but we're thinking a darker color, like a charcoal gray or black. We're not sure, we'll see, but that would contrast beautifully with the red of the brick. In which case, I think right now, my husband doesn't like the shutters. I like them against the white. I think they add contrast, but I think once the windows have been restored, they will look beautiful of their own accord without the shutters. But we're wanting to stay as true as we can to the 1908 vision. And since they did not exist, we are requesting the removal.
All right. Any other questions, comments from an HLPC member? All right, hearing none, I will, Andrea.
I was just going to say, I concur with Hayes's comments. It's quite an undertaking to strip a building of paint. And I also concur, just you might as well have ask us to remove the shutters. And
yes, makes sense.
Part and parcel to having the paint stripped. It's going to help in the long run. So.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, I should also mention that the windows, we will probably be doing interior storms as opposed to exterior to let the beauty shine. We've heard stories about them being impossible to use with air conditioners in the summertime anyway, so we're sold on two fronts.
Excellent. So yeah, you have done a lot of research, and it's bearing fruit, and thank you for your efforts here. All right, I will entertain a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act. Robert, you had your hand up, but you were still muted. All right.
Second.
All right, so Hayes will give you the motion, and Robert will give you the second. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. And I move that the commission find as fact that the proposed restoration at 105 Fair Street in the Fair Street Historic District by applicant Lee Kelly and owner Kostas Katsouras, if done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedures stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the district for the following reasons. Using the original drawings by Frederick Howland Russa to guide the restoration, the work will return the property closer to its original plan, including paint removal using peel away and removal of shutters. The owner will also plans to complete additional site improvements and will return to our commission with additional detail. Any changes or additions to the plans or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application will be subject to further review by our commission prior to the work being carried out. The commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston's Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, I move that on this second day of June 2022, our commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein and in their application to the commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion. Do I hear
Can I just make a suggestion, since this is going to be more or less an ongoing project rather than having her resubmit application after application? You're approving this component of this application and you're continuing your review. So you're not ending your review at this point. So just make a note of that.
I accept that amendment. I suggest putting it as part of the second paragraph of my motion. And do I hear a second to the motion as amended?
Second, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. Do I hear any further discussion on the motion as amended? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. Over to you, Hayes.
Do any members of the Heritage Area Commission have questions of the applicant? Hearing none. Do I hear a motion from a Heritage Area Commissioner to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Nettie Morano, second.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Nettie. That motion's on the floor. Any debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Janet Marr.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
And Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Further, do I hear a motion from a Heritage Area Commissioner to endorse the preservation notice of action as approved by the HLPC for 105 Fair Street, including removal of exterior paint with peel away and the removal of the exterior shutters?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Here's a second.
Bonnie Howland, second.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Bonnie. That motion is on the floor. Is there any debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Hayes Clement, I'm an enthusiastic aye. Nettie Morano.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Janet Marr.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland.
We're all doing the wave for you. Aye.
Dean.
A second enthusiastic aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great evening. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, I believe next on our agenda is 316 Wall Street. Do we have someone? Hello. That would be Mr. Smith and Mr. Riley.
That's correct.
If you would give us an overview of your plans.
Sure. There's two primary items that we want to, good to see you all again. The two primary items we would like to talk about is, one is kind of due to the rising construction costs, we need to scale back our previously approved roof plan, like bulkhead, and return to the originally approved design, unfortunately. And the second item is a response to our owners thinking about his building over the long term. not like 10 years, but more like 50 years, and hopefully beyond. So the approach, so with this approach, the existing windows are kind of a mishmash of materials and types that have changed over time and size, actually. So our hope is to improve the performance of the building envelope while trying to create a more unified historic feel. And so, there's some wood, some vinyl. So some don't function that well. Some are single glazed. So really what we're trying to do is think about the buildings, like I said, long-term performance, and also kind of try and stitch back together something that actually feels a little bit more unified in historic. So our approach on the Wall Street side is to replace the vinyl and wood windows with just wood windows, all from the same manufacturer that will be painted to match the existing windows. On the Fair Street side, we look to, on the Wall Street, we want to, of course, keep the existing stained glass windows, and then there'd be no work on the first floor. On the Fair Street side, we looked at what appeared to be the oldest windows on the second floor as a basis to replace the windows. And those are kind of large double hung windows with a kind of like a 2/2 configuration. And so we took that idea and applied it to the third floor, which are kind of cheap wood windows that have actually a wood infill panel above that appear to have been replaced at some point. So really what we're hoping to do is kind of create a more unified design on the back based on what appear to be the oldest windows on the building. That's primarily it.
Right. Thank you. Are there any questions from an HLPC member for the applicant? I can't see everybody, so do speak up. All right.
Just a quick question, Joe. The age of the wooden windows that are being replaced on the front, do you have an approximate age? I think we talked about them being from.
The ones on the Wall Street side appear to be much more recent. They're actually not in very good shape, and they don't appear to be original at all.
Right.
And those are the ones, yes. Well, those ones, yes, those are the vinyl and the wood ones. And so we're looking to replace them with low-end windows that are painted to match the existing color outside. And just one thing to clarify, in what you're looking here, for the doors on the Fair Street side, we didn't get the updated drawings from the manufacturer, so we just kind of drew in the subdivisions to kind of keep that kind of historic character.
Mm.
Thank you. Any additional details that folks need clarification on? Any questions, discussion? All right, I will. Okay, so we've got the 2/2.
Yep. So this is just a stock image. So the upper portion of that would just be that shows 4. It would just be the same as what's existing basically on the rear side. So there'd be 2 up top and then 2 below. And they would be painted to match similarly. Again, like this is just our sample that we happen to have. This was the best image we could find for the doors on the back to show subdivisions, not kind of a modernist single glazed opening, but subdivided with muntins.
Okay. Any other need to review the proposal or to view anything while Kyla is flipping through the presentation there? Not seeing that. All right. I will entertain a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act. Hayes, you're muted. I heard that. Hayes has moved. Do I have a second?
Nettie Morano, second.
Thank you, Nettie. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. I move that commissioners present find as fact that the proposed window replacement at 316 Wall Street in the Stockade Historic District by applicant Lizen Schott Architecture and owner Trey 16 LLC, if done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedures stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the district for the following reasons. The proposal will replace existing vinyl and wood windows with painted wood windows for a more cohesive and traditional design. The commission recognizes that the applicants wish to revert back to the bulkhead and roof design previously approved on August 5, 2021, and to no longer incorporate a green roof concept at the building. Any changes or additions to the plans or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application will be subject to further review by our commission prior to that work being carried out. The commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston's Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, I move that on this second day of June 2022, our commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein and in its application to our commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion. Do I hear a second?
Hayes.
Second, Robert.
I think Hayes beat you, Robert. Nice try.
Okay. That's okay.
All right. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Aye, laddie. I'll also vote in the affirmative.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Over to you, Hayes.
Do members of the Heritage Area Commission have questions of the applicant? Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act?
Dean
Bonnie
Barnes.
Howland, so moved.
Barnes moved. Bonnie Howland, want to second it?
Second, yep.
That motion's on the floor. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Dana Marr.
Aye.
Howland.
Aye.
And Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Do I hear a motion from a Heritage Area Commissioner to positively endorse the preservation notice of action approved by the HLPC for work to be performed at 316 Wall Street?
Bonnie Howland, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Nettie
Janet Marr.
Morano.
Janet, did you second?
Yes.
Thank you. That motion is on the floor for debate. Is there any? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Dana Marr.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
You guys have it. Thank you. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you very much.
Have a great evening.
You too.
Okay, I believe next up is 29 Rogers Street. Hi.
Now, 63
63 German.
German.
Wow, okay. I believe we have both of those, the same presenter. So Your call as to which you want to do first, Mike.
You can do them both at once if you want. I know you can't, but I appreciate your time. It's very nice to see many of you and to meet some of you. My name is Mike Gilliard. I serve as the Executive Director of the Kingston City Land Bank. We are a public authority, nonprofit based here in Kingston with a mission to taking properties foreclosed upon by the City of Kingston, returning them back to the tax rolls with a primary focus on affordable homeownership. I'm joined tonight by Mr. Michael McCormick, a partner at LMV Architects, who is working with us and would be far more well-suited than I to answer your questions, but I did want to add some context. This is obviously the continuation of our work under affordable homeownership. It is, however, hopefully a new avenue for us to accelerate the scale of our work. This is being financed by the state of New York under the Legacy Cities Access Program, which is a new program designed for New York State land banks to do exactly what we are hoping to do, which is to rehab existing single-family homes into affordable homeownership. This also allows us to partner with BIPOC and maybe developer, or in our case, a developer contractor who's looking to sort of rise to the next level. So we're excited to have that partnership as a part of this program. It is our hope to close with the state this month, and that would make us the first closing in New York State under this program. And it is, I will mention, a $25 million program that the governor has just announced adding an additional $50 million to. So this is a modest drop in the bucket, but we're excited to be in front of you tonight and hope to continue our work and come before you again. So with that, I'll turn it over to Michael. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. And good evening to everyone on the call. Hannah Manor from my office is also here, and you can see her and she can wave. Hi, Hannah.
Hey, I'm here. I would like to share my screen if that's.
So I'd like to go through, there's 3 projects we'll be speaking about this evening. The first one is on German, and basically it's a single family home. It's got a brick foundation, wood shake exterior, and asphalt shingle roof.
I'm sorry, Mike, I couldn't hear which one you.
German, Hannah?
Oh, German.
Yeah.
Trying to find.
So the scope, essentially, I'll go through the scope so that we can have questions. The scope will, the original front porch will be repaired in kind, with the exception of the roof, which the roof we're going to, the ceiling rather of the roof, and we're going to have painted beadboard instead of what's there, which is an old tin piece of structure, which is really in bad shape, in terrible shape actually. We're also going to take the concrete stoop and repair it. We're going to sandblast it down and get it back down to what it is, and repair the existing parging and replacing it with new parging so that it really has, it comes back up to life. We're going to certainly we're going to put on new railings, and the railings there are not code compliant, and we need to come up to New York State Uniform Code standards. We'll have all new windows throughout the building. They'll be installed, and they'll be wood-clad, metal-clad wood windows, double hung. The roof will be replaced with a new architectural grade shingles. Right now, the roof is in poor shape. The fascia and soffits will be repaired as necessary in kind to match the existing. And we're going to add new gutters and leaders in a brown color. The exterior front door in this building will be replaced with a new thermal door with glass lights. The exterior siding will be repaired and painted. It does need help. The damaged brick foundation will be repaired and painted. And these are the colors that we're talking about, the 4 colors in the middle for this building. The gray is for the body of the building with the porch ceiling. The soffits will be that second one down, the Benjamin Moore branch poured brown. The casings and things of that nature, and the columns will be the Palace Ochre, and the exterior doors will be the Nicholson red. So essentially, it's really to give life to this building that has not been there apparently for a while, because as you can see, it's in pretty disrepair shape, and it just needs some love, and that's what we're going to be providing for this building.
Shall we go building by building, or do you want to present all three?
Let's just do it. Yeah, you should do application by application.
Okay, so German Street is advisory only?
Yes.
All right, does anyone have any questions for anyone on HLPC, have any questions for the applicant?
Just the shingles on this building, they're cedar shakes shingles. They're not like an asphalt shingle, correct?
Correct, yeah. Yes, so.
Okay.
I would maybe just question that sort of very bold yellow color on the columns and the casings. Is that supposed to sort of replicate a craftsman style or something?
The for the porch columns and things of that nature, and the door casings. Michael, do you want to talk about that, or have a
open to be flexible to whatever you think is more suitable, for sure.
It's Hayes, the source of your objection is that it's out of character, out of time. I'm unclear. I mean, it's not a lot covering a lot, but
right. I'm just trying to envision how that's going to look. What's the field color for the shingles?
The gray.
Right, the top one.
Yeah, top. The Benjamin Moore gunsmith. Gray.
Just strikes me as an odd combination against the gray.
Yeah, I mean, it can be complementary to the gray color. It gives a little pop to the house itself. I think it's not in a large swath of the area on the house itself, so it may just give some element that is on some life. Again, the whole idea is to really bring life to the house itself. But we are certainly open to comments.
If I'm
I have to say I'm grateful to see something that isn't gray. Tonight has been a parade of gray, and the last couple of months I have been kind of surprised by the popularity of gray. And I don't know if this is a 2020 something trend or exactly what's happening with that, but I was really happy to see it on the spire of the old Dutch church. I did not expect it to spread so completely across town. My thought here is I don't. It's hard to tell from the little swatch here. There's a darker section and then a what appears to be a bright bit. How do we tell the tone? I'm not that familiar with the color. Which is closer to the actual paint?
It would be closer to not the lighter piece of it. That's enhanced by the manufacturer to show some light on it, but it really is the darker color. So it's not as vibrant as the lower piece of the sample.
Does that make a difference to you, Hayes?
Yeah, if no one else has a concern about it, I'm fine.
Any other members on this particular issue?
What is the actual finish? Is it like a semi-gloss, a gloss? What would
these are more likely
that might make a difference for Hayes?
Yeah. It won't be a gloss.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't be a gloss. So it won't have that accent that you see on there at all. It'll probably be a semi at best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't want flat because flat takes a lot of maintenance.
Yeah.
So and catches. So.
All right. Any other questions on the rest of the plans as proposed?
I had one question. It had to do with the SHPO. I saw that they had looked at 2 of the 3 properties recently. Was that initiated, or they just sort of appear like magic and looked at them? That can happen, but I'm just,
Yeah. And
they made a determination that they weren't eligible for the National Register, which were you seeking credits or I'm just wondering how that came about with the SHPO involvement.
Sure, Kevin, maybe I could try to answer that.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, as part of the closing process with the state, they have environmental compliance requirements, and one of those is that we achieve the SHPO no impact letters. So that may be why that came on your.
I saw Chelsea Towers had a note in the file or something, and the third one, I think, 29 Rogers, who is non-contributing to the historic district in the inventory.
Okay.
Yeah. When you get to that, that'll be a thing. So that's it.
Thank you, Kevin. Extra research. All right. I will entertain a motion concerning 63 German Street. Remember, this is advisory only. Would anyone care to express a motion?
I move that the HLPC positively endorse the renovation plan as presented for 63 German Street, including the exterior painting, porch, windows, doors, and new roof.
Do I hear a second?
Andrew Pugh, second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I will call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. All right, take us through the next property.
HAC, wait, HAC needs to do.
Oh, right. Thank you.
Do any members of the HAC have additional questions for the applicants? Do I hear a motion from an HAC member to give a positive endorsement to the renovation plans for 63 German Street as presented, including exterior paint colors, porch, window, doors, and new roof plans?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Thank you, Dean. That motion's on the floor. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano.
Aye.
Kevin
Who
McAvoy.
seconded?
Bonnie Howland seconded.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay.
Nettie Morano.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Dana Marr.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Back to you, Mark.
Okay, next up then would be 29 Rogers. I believe East Union is HAC only. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if we could move on to 29 Rogers Street.
Yes, thank you. So Rogers Street is a two-story structure. It's a single family home. As you can see, it's in very much disrepair. Basically, the scope of work there we'll be moving actually this door that you see, which is the front door on the street. It's on the left side of the building. We're going to move it on the right side of the building. There was actually a window here that we found back in the day, and the original front door was on the other side, on the right-hand side of the building. So in terms of the look, we're going to take off the canopy that you see. We're going to put this door and the side lights on the right-hand side of the building, and we're going to create a new canopy over top of it. That will also entail that we have to do a new porch with some railings. All the windows, this building will also be replaced with metal-clad wood windows, double hung in a black finish. The stone exterior will be painted, and we'll go and take a look at the colors after this. The existing roof shingles will remain as they are. They're in pretty good shape, so we're not going to change out the shingles. Any existing fascia and soffits that are in disrepair will be repaired and painted, and we'll have new gutters and leaders installed. There is an existing wood structure, a little small wood porch in the back. It's in terrible shape. We're going to take this off. It's in terrible disrepair, and we'll replace it with a painted wood deck with steps and railings on it. So it's really just, that's in the rear of the building. So we can go to the colors. And so these are on the left. You can see the white color is the body of the building itself, and that'll be the trim, and the exterior doors will be the Benjamin Moore mopboard black. Very
I have
much
a
simple.
question. What's the thought of behind painting the stone rather than leaving it a natural?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the stone, it's an okay stone. It's actually a very thin stone. It looks like a veneer.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the original stone that was on the building at all.
No.
Or if it was stone at all, it could have been something else, another material. You can see actually it has a little lip on it. So on the brick. So it's really just to give some uniformity to the stone itself. And once we take the door and move it over from the left to the right, it's also, we're going to have to take that stone that we have and replace it. So it's going to be a very difficult thing to, I think, to really match that stone exactly when we move the door.
And are you painting it all the way down? This is Bonnie Howland from the Heritage area, but just since you have this photo up, are you painting it all the way down to the red brick on the bottom, or just the upper brick?
It'll be the brick as well. You can see the brick is in really bad shape. So we're gonna have to really repoint and re-brick in some cases. And we'll never match that brick in terms of what it is. So it'd be very difficult to do that. So then again, the painting of the stone, which typically I don't like to do, in this case, I think makes perfect sense for this building. It really it'll give a uniformity to the whole building and actually really freshen it, brighten it up, and make a nice building out of it. And again, if that was a great stone, I'd say, well, but it's not a great stone in reality.
And the new entry steps for the new doorway are going to be, trying to remember the material, they're going to be masonry as well?
Correct, yeah.
Do you have the SHPO inventory, or do you need it?
I'm sorry, Kevin, you said?
The SHPO inventory, the State Historic Preservation Office?
Yeah,
Do you-
Michael, we can probably better answer that question.
I have it, if you need it, that's why I'm asking. if
Oh,
you-
no, I don't.
look at it.
Kim from my office actually is away. She was the senior associate in charge of the project.
Yeah, well, what it says is that the reason it was a non-contributing structure is that it was a Greek revival building that appears on the French map of 1858. So it dates to prior to 1858, perhaps as early as 1825. However, the building has received major modern alterations and retains only a few of its 19th century features. Therefore, it is a non-contributing building. Thus spoke the Friends of Historic Kingston to the SHPO.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense with regard to the stone facade.
Yeah,
yeah, that was certainly not a period.
Yeah, it does not appear to be Greek revival anything.
Well, maybe the windows on the upper course of windows, that could be.
Yeah,
could be.
Maybe.
What are we looking at here? What view is this?
I think this is the back of the house.
That looks like the back.
Yeah,
That's
that's
that
the back.
porch.
Enclosed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you can see, it's in very bad disrepair.
Yeah.
So that's just going to be a painted deck with stairs, you said?
Yeah, that one we're going to take off and make new.
Okay.
Yeah, with better new materials.
Yeah, it's bonfire fodder right now.
It is. It certainly is. Be a great bonfire.
All right. Any other questions from an HLPC member for the applicant regarding 29 Rogers? Robert?
Yeah, sorry to do this, but I don't have enough information. From the pictures and what you're I just don't feel like I have enough to know what this is going to look like, to be able to make a judgment. You know what? You guys do great work. I think I've seen a couple of, it's really, and I assume this is going to be another one, but I just question what it's got. I have no idea what it's going to look like, other than it's going to be gray. So
no, it's going to be white and black.
White and black. Okay.
Here's the elevation.
You have an elevation drawing showing a sketch of the proposed front elevation.
Yeah, can you see it?
Oh,
Yeah.
do you know?
No, not at the
must have
moment.
missed that.
No, but I think rather than an existing photo, what is proposed is shown in their plan set that was submitted.
Correct. Yeah, yes, it was.
So maybe Kyla, if you could pull that up, maybe Hannah, if you want to stop screen sharing, maybe Kyla. can
Which
pull that.
one? Which one's it?
For 29 Rogers, the in the plan set, I think there's a front elevation with the proposed changes.
The front elevation. Yeah.
Yeah, I have that too. I had it on my screen. I thought you're gonna see it.
No, I could not.
No, couldn't see it. Hannah.
We've
Can you
only
see it
been
now?
looking at photos.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Okay. All right, now I get it. Sorry. I don't know how I went through it before and I missed this, so I apologize.
Oh, no apology needed. And actually, it's black and white.
Though the white will be everything that is the stone, including the brick. What exactly will the black detail be on? Can you review that just quickly?
Yeah.
While we're looking at this.
Yeah, it's really the trim as well as the windows themselves, the muttons and things of that nature. So truly it will be black and white.
So any other comments, questions from HLPC members?
Another historical note was, I believe this might have been Billy Goldie's house. You know, like Uncle Willie?
Possibly.
Oh,
Yeah.
you knew, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. Consider a plaque.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or a ribbon cutting with beer.
Something. Yeah, with the outfit, right? The
Oh my, yeah.
the Rosendale Street Fair outfit, yeah.
Oof.
Hayes. I make a motion that the HLPC positively endorse the renovations.
I'm afraid we're going to require the full formalities on this one. It's not a.
This is not advisory because this is in the this is in the.
But would you be willing to move that this is a type 2 action under seeker?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Nettie Morano, second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Thank you. Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I also vote aye. All right. I move that the commissioners find as fact that the proposed renovations at 29 Rogers Street in the Rondout Historic District by applicant Kingston City Land Bank, if done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedures stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the district for the following reasons. The proposal includes exterior painting using Benjamin Moore hardwood putty CW5-5 of the Williamsburg collection for the body and trim, and mopboard black CW-680 of the same collection for the exterior doors and for the windows. The plans also include demolition of the chimney and the existing concrete stoop, closing of the exterior entry and reopening the original entry on the opposite side of the front facade, replacement of, no, we're not replacing the shingles, am I correct?
Correct. Yes, correct.
Okay, so I will omit any mention of shingles. All right. Any changes or additions to the plans or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application will be subject to further review by our commission prior to the work being carried out. The commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston's Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, I move that on this second day of June 2022, that our commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein, and in its application to our commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion. Do I hear a second?
Second, Robert.
Thank you, Robert. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
The ayes have it, and I will add my name to that column. Thank you very much. I believe, Hayes, after I turn this one over to you, the third building is HAC only. Sue, should we entertain a motion to adjourn HLPC, or do you need us for something later in the
Oh,
agenda?
you can entertain your motion to adjourn.
I will happily entertain a motion to adjourn.
Andrea Pugh, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Robert, second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, I will call the roll. Nettie?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Hayes?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
And we are adjourned by unanimous acclamation. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Good night.
Good evening.
HAC members stay on. All right, HAC commissioners, do you have any further questions for the applicant on 29 Rogers Street? Do I hear?
Bonnie Howland, I do real quick, case. I'm curious, the new stoop. I know I just asked the question about the house is white, the lower brick is white, the columns and the new stoop itself, those are all white as well. They don't go to black, correct?
They'll stay white.
Okay, that's all I had. Thanks, Hayes.
Do I hear a motion from an HAC member to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Bonnie Howland, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Nettie Morano, second.
That motion's on the floor. Any debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Hayes Clement, I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Do I hear a motion from an HAC member to positively endorse the preservation notice of action as approved by the HLPC for the renovations proposed at 29 Rogers Street?
Bonnie Howland, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Dean Barnes, second.
Thank you, Dean. That motion's on the floor. Any further debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Janet Marr,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
and Dean Barnes.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The next application, also from the Kingston Land Bank Incorporated, is for 237 East Union Street, also renovations to an existing house. Do you guys want to walk us through that one?
Yes, thank you. This is a single family home. It's one story. It has existing metal siding that we're going to retain and paint, fix where we need to. There'll be a new front door that will be installed because the existing one is in such poor shape. The concrete front stoop will be repaired and new concrete top pour will be put onto it, and then they'll be reparged. The railings will be scraped down and repainted. The windows, again, will be replaced with new wood, metal-clad wood windows, and they will be double hung, except for like the picture window, as you see here, that'll say as a picture window, and they'll be all in black in color. The roof is in pretty good shape, and we retained as is. The soffits and the fascia in this case will be repaired as needed and necessary and painted. And of course, we're going to put on new gutters and leaders will be installed. We can look at the colors on this, Hannah.
Was there any, just while we're on this shot, was there any thought given to maybe enlarging that front stoop a little to just allow, like, you know, a couple of chairs, or just, you know, I'm just thinking, you know, as a front?
Yeah, Mike Gilliard, you want to respond to Sue?
I can say that I didn't have any thought about it, but I'm not the one who would typically consider such things. At this time, we've kind of settled our scope with the state in terms of what we can do, but I know it is our hope at the end of this 4-home project to use contingency to try to add where we can, but it's more likely going to come in on the landscaping side than the building design side.
You were going to show the colors again?
Yeah, and the colors, there we go. And there's East Union on the left, or the right-hand side rather. You can see the Raleigh peach color, that's the body of the building itself. The soffit trim will be the hardwood putty. Exterior doors will be the amber slate. So in this case, it's not all gray. It's got a little peach color.
Are those window awnings, this is Bonnie Howland, are those window cover awnings coming down or staying up?
They'll be coming down.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they're certainly tack-ons at some point, probably looks like the 70s, actually.
But there's one coming, we have a new awning coming here.
There'll be one added. Is that what you said, Hannah?
Yeah, I believe so.
You can go to elevations, Hannah.
Yeah, let me go and see them.
Any other questions or comments for the applicants? We'll hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act.
Bonnie Howland, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Nettie
Second, Dean.
Morano, second.
Second, Nettie Morano. Thank you, Nettie. That motion's on the floor. Any debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Annette Marr.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
And Dean Barnes.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Do I hear a motion to approve the renovation plans, including exterior paint colors, for 237 East Union Street as presented?
Bonnie Howland, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second, Kevin.
Second, Kevin McAvoy. Thank you. That motion's on the floor. Any debate or discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Annette Marr.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
And Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank you very much for this evening.
Thank you.
Next item of business is 634 Delaware Avenue, a proposal to install a picket fence. John Olson, applicant and owner. John, thank you for being with us. Do you want to just lay out what you're planning to do?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking the time to hear me. Let me show you what oh, you have it there. Good. The existing conditions are there on the bottom right. So I'd like to remove the existing privet bushes and replace them with something a bit more welcoming and more in line with the landscaping plans I've got. The alignment is approximately shown there on the bottom left and the blue line. And the top center is an elevation with some dimensions and the intended finish for the fence.
Any members have questions of the applicant? Sue, this meets code for fence height and everything setback.
Yeah,
I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker.
So moved, Dean Barnes.
We hear a second.
Bonnie Howland, second.
Thank you, Bonnie. That motion's on the floor. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
and Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Do I hear a motion to approve the planned installation of a picket fence at 634 Delaware Avenue as presented?
Nettie Morano, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Janet Marr, second.
That duly made motion is on the floor. Any debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Jane Barnes,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Thank you, John. The ayes have it. Next item of business is 263 East Strand, proposal to install a 6-foot fence to surround a pool. Carolina and Stuart Hart, applicants and owners. Stuart, I see is here. Can you walk us through what you want to do?
Yeah, we're looking to put a small pool in the backyard of our home. Currently, there's some hedges you'll see in these pictures. So currently there's a row of hedges which we plan on keeping. But I think there's some requirements for a fence around a pool. But instead of doing the required, whatever the 48-inch fence is, we just want to maintain this. To the right, you see that we currently have a privacy fence that's 6 feet tall. So on the inside, we'll just continue this fence around the property and around the pool. Behind, we plan on keeping the hedges. So along this street here, along Gill Street, there's hedges that go all the way down to the next property. And then the other side of the property faces a slope. There really is no neighbor there, but we want to finish that privacy fence around the whole perimeter of the property.
So
and then the next question is there any issues with proposing having a pool from a historical perspective?
I don't think a pool question would come to us, right, Sue? I mean, that would be
no,
more.
but there was, and I had earlier discussed this, I believe maybe with your wife, the pool, digging in this area. I have concern about not only the flooding that occurs routinely along the strand there, but also the depth to the, the water table. That it's pretty high in that area. So I had a little bit of concern about installing an in-ground pool. The other question that has since come up, and Kevin McAvoy raised it actually in an email to us earlier today, is potential when you're digging for archaeological artifacts in this area. Kevin, I don't know if you want to speak to that.
Yeah, sure. I don't think that's a project stopper. No, I mean, I'm not opposed to the pool. I've seen pools like this done in New Orleans, and lots of them.
Okay.
That addresses the flooding issue to an extent, but just be aware that you can have flooding. So you're in the map floodplain, so just be aware of that going forward.
Yeah. So we just to answer a couple of those things, we had to put a water line between. So we met with you guys on a couple of things for this building. One was changing the corner of the facade from a storefront to windows.
Yeah, that I remember, yeah.
And then the other one was this 2-story brick structure. We turned it, it's a carriage house basically, but
Right.
there was a question whether it was a garage or an actual carriage house. So we got approval to do that.
Mhm.
While doing that construction, we had to put a water line between the two structures, and we had to,
Right.
with the water line, you have to go below 5 feet for freeze issues. So we've been 6 feet down, and we did not hit water. And then also the vendor doing the pool is Aqua, the vendor that's out by
Aquajet.
Aquajet. So we talked, they've been in the area for the last 15 or 20 years doing pools, and we addressed that concern about the water table. And he said because of that, they're going to do, the bottom of the pool will be concrete. And they're going to put some sort of drainage, like he addressed that in the pool construction plans.
Good.
So after speaking to him and speaking to the building department, I kind of feel good about the plan moving forward. It's just more of like extending that 6-foot fence. And
Yeah, I'll address the Archeo really fast. You see right above you where it says on the plan where it says Richard Stone
yes,
with a Library and page number, the former next door neighbor who I think is like 2 doors down now on
Yes.
Pankaki Street. Yeah, there's a known Native American burial site there, and at 2 Pankaki Street, there were a lot of artifacts were found, and Joe Diamond was he reviewed across Gill Street on the other side. So you do have a possibility of something, when you open up the ground, that you may find native artifacts or.
okay, well that's a good segue, I guess, into the question of what if you do find artifacts? What's the protocol? Or is there a protocol if the excavator says, "Oh, I found some unknown artifacts"?
Call Joe Diamond.
Okay.
He was the anthropologist, archaeologist that did the work on Gill Street. The other person he was associated with that did some of the work on Pankaki Street, but that person passed away years ago. But Joe's familiar with both the sites. He's at SUNY New Paltz. And just as an aside, I think the Kingstonian project has him on a standby basis as they're digging to come running in and go, okay, artifacts, and and do a look-see, and you're a small project compared to that. So I mean, how many, whatever they find would just be in this one area, most likely. If anything, it could be nothing.
Okay, so I've got Joe Diamond, SUNY New Paltz, Kingstonian project. If
we can get you I have his contact email and phone number if you.
But just to clarify, the scope of our review here, Sue, is just the fence, not the pool.
Correct.
Okay. So it's highly unlikely you're going to find artifacts erecting a fence.
No, 0 to nothing on that.
Do I hear?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Dean Barnes, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Janet Marr, second.
Thank you, Janet. That motion's on the floor. Any debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Janet Marr.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Do I hear a motion to approve the installation of a pool surround fence at 263 East Strand as presented?
Dean
Bonnie
Barnes, so
Howland.
moved.
Dean Barnes, so moved. Do I hear?
Bonnie Howland, second.
Bonnie Howland, second. That motion is on the floor. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Janet Marr.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
And Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Next item of business is 346 Broadway, a proposal to install a neon business identification sign. Daniel Bagnall, applicant, Alcine LLC owner. I am going to turn this over to Bonnie, recuse myself as I have an active financial interest in this transaction for the building. Bonnie?
Sounds good. Hi, Daniel, you held on for dear life right to the very end. Can you give us a little bit of information about what you're doing?
Yeah, so we had a wine bar restaurant in Hudson, New York for 3 years, and we closed it looking for a new location, and we're purchasing the building at 346 Broadway. Our sign plan changed literally as of 3 p.m. This afternoon. So I apologize. Our kind of information is a little bit rudimentary, but our hope is basically a 50-inch long neon tube just above the doorway. And in front of that neon tube will be a 7-inch tall metal lettering that will be bracketed into the building, into the brick itself. We don't plan on doing anything to the exterior paint job. We might need to touch up the paint, the white paint, if that's okay to get approved as well. But other than that, we have no additional signage planned.
So it's literally that yellow neon tube and then the Sonder stood off.
Exactly.
In front of that. Okay.
The neon tube will be about 50 inches long.
Okay.
I have the plan in works, but I haven't gotten an official plan back yet. But it'll just be a single neon tube, approximately a 1/2 inch thick, and 50 inches long. And in front of it will be individual letters spelling Sonder, which is the name of our business.
And Sue, is there anything that they need to do with something like this? This is with when it comes to additional insured, or that's not how this works
No,
for a
it's
sign like that?
affixed to the building, so this does not require that.
It's really sleek. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
Does anybody else on the commission have any questions or comments? Okay, so this is a type 2 action, Sue?
Yes, it is.
So do I hear a motion to make this a type 2 action under seeker?
Dean
Motion.
Barnes, so moved.
Okay.
Thank
Dean
you,
got it.
Dean. Second for Kevin.
Yeah, I'll second it.
All right, there's a motion on the floor. Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll call the roll on Bonnie Hallen. I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Janet Marr,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
Do I hear a motion to approve the 50-inch long, correct?
Yes.
Neon tube with the stood off sign, and touch up the paint as needed to keeping it white as was shown in the photographs. Do I hear a motion for that?
Nettie Morano, so moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second, Dean Barnes.
Motion's on the floor. Any other questions, comments, concerns? No? Awesome. Hearing none, I'm going to call the roll. Bonnie Hallen, I vote aye. Nettie Morano,
Aye.
Janet Marr,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Dean Barnes.
Aye.
I'm just going to note that Hayes recused himself from this one. So Daniel, you're all set. Thank you so much for holding on to the bitter end.
Thank you so
appreciate
much,
you.
everyone. Have a lovely evening.
Have a great night.
Thank you, Bonnie.
No problem.
Any additional business, Sue?
No, we don't have anything. The only thing I would just encourage, I should have said this before the HLPC members too. Just again, just another encouragement that the new zoning code is out in the draft form. We circulated around information on meetings that are coming up in the month of June. So I really encourage people to participate and sit in on those. There are some that are hybrid Zoom ones, so you can just join by listening. You do have to pre-register for those. And then there's neighborhood meetings as well. But I just want to, spread the word because it's a citywide change in the overall zoning code. Will have some significant impacts. One being that the Heritage Commission itself is potentially going to be dissolved, and you'll just have the Landmarks Preservation Commission. So that is an option that's out there in the administrative end of things.
And that's allowable now because the state has sort of decommissioned heritage areas.
Yes.
Okay. When did that happen?
I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago.
And how would the LWRP enter into that picture?
The LWRP, there was a local consistency review law will have to be amended to give that review authority to another body, another entity. The Broadway design standards will no longer be in place. They'll be replaced with within the form-based code itself. The design standards will take over there. So the agency that will take on the consistency review is being discussed. It's the idea, either the planning board taking it on or maybe the CAC taking that role. That's something that's under discussion right now.
That's been done, I think, in Newburgh, if I recall correctly, with their CAC does it.
Yes, which I, and it, I mean, that's, I think for checks and balances reasons, the planning board might not be the appropriate party to put it to. It's good to have that second, that other set of review, out there in play.
The other thing that happened with the scoping was the CAC did submit comments, and we didn't submit that comment. Far as I know, I don't think Emily Hauser did that.
The
one on the LWRP. I don't think
okay.
she addressed that. No, you'd have to clear that with Emily. And I don't think we. What we did do was we threw in into scoping, not into an actual suggestion that it be done this way, but into scoping that the HLPC standards maybe consider taking a hard look at the model local government law.
Yes, that you're right. Yes, that is out there as well.
Yeah, we threw that came from us over at the CAC. So.
Thank you for the update, Sue. Any other comments? Any other questions? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Kevin. Do I hear a second?
Janet Moore, second.
Thank you, Janet. Any debate?
No.
Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Nettie Morano.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Lamar.
Aye.
Connie Howland.
Aye.
And Dean Barnes.
Aye.
And thank you, Kyla and Sue. We'll see
I
you
vote
later.
enthusiastically aye. No.
Yay.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good night, everyone.